Happy Mother's Day to you and yours here from St. Louis. Bring your mom to the ballpark or have her pull up a chair as we've got baseball for you this afternoon. Think pink. It's the Pirates and the Cardinals here from Busch Stadium. And welcome into the booth. Joe Block along with Bob Walk with you here this afternoon. And the Pirates coming into today's action very much even with this Cardinals team over the last few years within games and over the last several seasons as well.
It's been a lot of fun. The Pirates have been really battling the Cardinals for this division now over these last couple of years, and it's really been an even battle. Nobody seems to be able to, to really get a hold of the other team. It's going back and forth, and pretty much no matter what the score is, whether it's a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game, it comes down to that last at-bat. I'm sure this afternoon, the ninth inning, it'll be game on the line time.
And those two teams, the best two teams in baseball in that span. And today, Gerrit Cole, who has been very good against the St. Louis Cardinals, trying to get that Cole train back on track.
Yeah, he's really enjoyed these matchups against the Cardinals. He's gone back and forth. You can see his record pretty close to even. Also 4-3, and has an ERA under a 3 in the 2. So he's gone out there and he's been involved in a lot of these really low-scoring pitcher duels. That might be what we see this afternoon, another low-scoring pitchers duel.
And we will see David Freese in the starting lineup today as he'll make his first start in St. Louis since the 2013 postseason. It's the Pirates and the Cardinals on Mother's Day coming up right here on Root Sports.
Pirates in a couple moments will try to take their second series of 2016 from the reigning NL Central Cardinals. I'm Robbie Inspikowski, standing outside Busch Stadium, where, as you can see, they like to honor their heroes. And that includes 2011 World Series hero David Freese, who in Game 6 hit a game-tying triple in the ninth inning, and then a couple innings later hit the game-winning home run, sending it to a decisive Game 7 where the Cardinals would eventually win. Yesterday, Freese made his return appearance as a pinch hitter in the ninth inning. He received a standing ovation, had to step out of the box and tip his cap. Earlier today, I asked him what that moment meant to him.
Yeah, it was awesome. kind of not expecting what was going to happen. And, Rosenthal coming in, one of my buddies, and leading off the inning, having Yadi back there. The class act he is, stepping out in front and giving it some time. It was emotional for sure. I know how great these fans are. I know how they respect, all the good times that all these players have had here along with them. The fans are a big part of what goes on here. It's a huge reason why this is arguably the best place to play.
And the ovations today for David Freese could continue again. He's in the starting lineup as Jung-Ho Kang gets the day off. It's the first time David Freese will start in St. Louis since his trade after the 2013 season to Anaheim. When we come back, Joe and Bob will discuss Michael Wacha, who had a dominant outing in 2013 in NLDS against the Pirates. Today, they'll discuss what they have to do to beat Michael Wacha. That's coming up next.
Afternoon here in St. Louis on Mother's Day. David Freese, the hometown kid, with family in attendance. And Michael Wacha getting ready to make the start against the Buccos this afternoon. He's been one of the better Cardinal pitchers so far this year, and last time around was awfully good against Philadelphia.
Yeah, he's off to a nice start, and he's a young guy early in his career. He's probably going to continue to be one of the better pitchers in baseball for a long time. Against the Pirates, even though he's 3-1, the ERA at 3.73 is better than most teams have against him. We've hit him all right, and part of that reason is because of the way McCutchen has been able to handle Wacha, and that's why the Pirates have had some success against him. Kutch has pretty much wore him out. Hopefully this will continue today.
11 for 19 in his career with 4 extra base hits, so this is no fluke. Has had some success. Gregory Polanco hitting .500 against Wacha too. They're both in the lineup today, and maybe this gets Kutch back going again here on a wonderful Sunday afternoon here in St. Louis. Let's go back to the studios with Paul Alexander for a game break. good friends David Freese and Matt Holliday worked out together in Florida in the offseason while Freese was waiting to sign with the Pirates. It was earlier today. And here come the Cardinals to take the field here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon for baseball. Happy Mother's Day to you and yours. John Jaso with the pink bat. The player's been donning the pink the last 11 years now in baseball. And here's our RAV4 lineup for today with the moms' names as well. And Jaso, McCutchen, Polanco back in that 3 spot now. Marte cleaning up. David Freese, his first start here in St. Louis since being traded. Harrison, Mercer, Chris Stewart is behind the plate today for Garrett Cole. That's some hot pink right there. Hoping that the Pirate bats will be equally as hot today against Michael Wacha.
Take a look at Walker's numbers on the year. He's been having a little bit of trouble with his curveball from what we understand, but he's got a good heater. He'll throw that fastball an awful lot, more than half the time. And Pirates are they're the best fastball hitters in baseball, so maybe they can get to Wacha a little bit here this afternoon.
John Jaso will start things off. And he's ahead 1-0. It's 77 here in St. Louis.
Pretty good changeup. That's really, in my mind, Walker's best second pitch is that changeup. That's why he has better numbers against left-hand hitters than he does right-hand hitters.
And you could hear from Greg Gibson. That's not Cardinal red.
Don't adjust your color on your TV.
Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, baseball using the pink into the uniforms this year. Makes it a little bit different. We've seen pink shoes, we've seen pink bats, but now the teams are wearing the pink trimmed uniforms as well. And a heck of a snare there by Brandon Moss.
Pretty darn good play to open the action.
And a tip of cap from Pirates first baseman. Moss known for the bat. Making a good play to rob Jaso of a leadoff hit. McCutchen hit it well, but Brandon Holliday for the second out.
Yeah, hit it very well. That's one of the matchups we're going to be watching.
Here's the Honda defense for St. Louis. Holliday, Hazelbaker gets the start in center with Piscotty in right. Carpenter, Diaz, Wong, his first start of this series with Moss. Yadier Molina does the catching. Matt Carpenter, that 2-run home run in the bottom of the 9th yesterday, sunk the Pirates' spirits. Cardinals earning their first win against the Pirates in 5 games this season. Gregory Polanco, 296. And he was going to be that go-ahead run in the 9th inning yesterday, but the ball going over the wall for a ground rule double. Halted at third. Very even back and forth affair yesterday after Starling Marte, a strike away from game ending.
It really was a good ball game to watch. Just didn't end well for the Pirates.
Twirling 9 pitch, 1-2-3 first inning. Cardinals coming to bat here on Mother's Day. Glad you could join us here. And the Cardinals 9 this afternoon, led by Matt Carpenter. That home run yesterday in the 9th inning. Piscotty, Holiday, Moss gets the cleanup duties today with Randall Grichuk out of the lineup. Hazelbaker gets started instead. Hot rookie Diaz. Wong in there, and then Waka.
Take a look at Garrett Cole's numbers, brought to you by Hyundai. And the only thing that I think is maybe even a little out of shape is the 10 walks. And that's not really ridiculous. It's just a little higher than we're normally used to with Cole. He's always been such a good strike thrower. Only given up 1 home run so far on the season.
Picking up where he left off last year in that regard. Carpenter off to a slow start batting average wise. We'll see that come up, but big 2-run home run in the 9th yesterday. It also doubled. Out of the sky, this one to left. Marte to retire it.
Rivers Casino tips to win. Kutch will be clutch today. Let's hope. We've already talked about those good numbers he has. Nice matchup for him. So I think he's going to have a strong day with the bat. And these games are so close. It usually comes down to the last inning. So we need Melanson to slam the door. And hopefully those two things will lead to a victory here in the rubber game, rubber match of the series. Take 2 out of 3 and move on to Ohio.
Reds would be next. Piscotty over 300. We'll look at Garrett Cole today and see if he could bounce back. He really was behind a lot of hitters in his last start, and ended up giving up a career high 6 runs, which 3 of those were inherited runners that came in to score. However,
he just didn't look like himself in that game.
Struggled throughout
basically
the whole.
what it was. You could see he was a little out of sorts out there. He always kind of wears his emotions on his sleeve, but even a little more so. He wasn't real happy with the way that game was going. And when he's not happy, you can tell. See, he's not happy with that baseball. Gave it a little shake, teach you a lesson as he threw it off to the side.
Just missed away. Velocity 95.
That was a pretty good pitch, I thought. Right on the very edge of the plate.
Fights it off. And it's going to be a base hit for Piscotty. Greg Gibson now the crew chief with Dana DeMuth leaving yesterday because of head injury. Hope that he's okay soon. Estabrook, Hickox manning the corners, and then Tom Woodring filling in for Dana DeMuth today. That's Tom Woodring. Here's Matt Holliday. Cole starting him off with another strike. Piscotty has stolen one base, been thrown out once. 2 looking. Chris Stewart got some new gear yesterday for Mother's Day. Was trying it out all day yesterday to try to break it in a little bit. Couldn't wait to have a chance of getting to wear it once he saw his name in the lineup today. Mom Kathy.
The shoes must be real different nowadays. Because you see guys wearing the pink shoes. You used to have to break in those shoes a little bit before you could wear them in a game.
Big running lead for Piscotty. He just took right off.
And nobody even bothered to cover the bag. Well, the reason for that is something that I think happened about 25 to 30 years ago. And it's when the dugouts took over pickoff throws.
Wave and a miss. And that'll move up the runner. And Holiday will get aboard. And that's doubly troubling because of the runner at second base, leaving first base open for Holiday to reach too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now less than 2 outs, the runner can't take first on a strikeout. So now 2 men on with still only 1 out. At first base unoccupied. On the next play, there you go. Brandon Moss with 7 home runs.
The reason I was talking about that steal, the reason that happens is because when used to, you would actually look over. You know, you'd have to make a decision yourself. Do I throw over? Do I go home? Whatever. And nowadays everything is run from the bench, and I think a lot of pitchers, they get in a habit of never really paying attention to what as long as they don't have a throw over or a step off, they don't really pay attention to what the runners are doing at first base. And that certainly was the case right there.
Kind of automatic mode then.
Yeah. Now there are some pitchers that still will not only throw over when they're told to, but throw over occasionally on their own. Those guys, they'll still check the runners.
Chance to keep him close over there. And that curveball from Cole today's got a lot of break on it. He's buried a couple in the dirt.
It's a hard curveball. He gets it up there with excellent velocity, averages about 80 miles an hour on that hook.
This one should get into the seats. It will. Moss is a double play candidate, though. Could get you out of the inning.
Kind of odd splits this year, right-handed, left-handed with Moss. He's not hitting for much of an average at all against right-hand pitchers, but all of his 7 home runs have come against right-handers.
One, two.
Makes you think when he's going against a left-hander, maybe really cutting his swing down. Thinking more of just making contact. There you see those odd splits. Of course, he doesn't get to hit off lefties all that often anyway. But just 13 base hits this year off a right-hand pitcher, and 7 of them been over the fence. It's all more than half of his hits are home runs.
97 from Cole. Moss hit a big home run on Thursday prior to the series against the Phillies. Two. Curveball looking good today.
Big strikeout. And Moss unable to get the ball put in play. So now we'll take a hit for the Cardinals score run.
Yadier Molina still without a home run. Getting that average up over 300. Holiday not a threat to run, but after the steal by Piscotty, probably just trying to pay him some mind.
Yeah, just to let him know that they will throw over.
Pink shades. Molina, the catcher himself.
Curveball just barely caught the edge.
He's been able to make that curveball big and small, both here in the first inning, meaning in terms of the break.
This time he'll throw the slider. You can see the difference in speeds. That slider 8 miles an hour higher, more velocity than the curveball.
Darting out of the zone.
I think this will be the pickoff throw, perhaps. Oh, just the hold. See, that's when we were talking about the signs coming from the bench. That was a bench sign there that tells the pitcher just when you come set, just hold on to it until somebody calls time. Or if you can't hold it any longer, you can step off. Raise your hand, hope to be excused.
2-2. And what's the reason for holding the ball? Creating a delay.
It messes with the guy leading off over there. You know, he's out there all tensed up, and you're holding it and holding it. You know, he might kind of flinch towards second base. Maybe, you know, giving the bench a little look. They're like, oh, he's wanting to run. He might be running. Maybe we should call a pitch out here. It's just the bench, when they give a hold and step off, they are staring at that runner, wanting to see what he'll do when he gets out there and has to just wait. They're looking for any kind of a flinch.
Meanwhile, 27 pitches for Cole. Warm, mostly sunny afternoon. Just missed with the heat.
A good pitch. Yeah, they had it on the strike zone as a strike. Anytime you see the edges light up like that, that means the computer would have called strike 3.
Holiday runs. Molina trying to shoot it through the hole on the right side. Well, even if Cole can get out of this, the Cardinals can claim a bit of a victory by getting that pitch count up early. We saw with Jeff Locke yesterday, even though he had that 33 pitch first inning, was still able to go 6 and maybe even a 7th if needed. 11 in his career. Comes the 9th pitch of this at bat. Under the high curveball. 9-pitch walk to Molina loads the bases. Remember, Holiday only reached because on the strikeout he reached on the wild pitch, and first base was only open because Piscotty had just gotten a walking lead right before that. Only one single in the inning.
Probably what Ray's saying right there. Hey, they're not hitting you. Only one single so far.
Locke yesterday with the quality start.
Go after the hitter. Get this third out before you get your pitch count way up there. He's already thrown a third of the pitches that Locke threw the entire day.
Yeah. Locke was able to settle down after throwing even more pitches in the first inning. Hazelbaker's got some power, the career minor leaguer, having a great rookie campaign. Now Cole challenged Molina. I mean, he threw him a fastball right down the middle with 2 strikes that he fouled off. Tougher to do against this guy. And he's coming after him. Not messing around, filling up the strike zone with a couple of fastballs. Got him on 3 pitches. Eric Cole wanted to get out of the inning. He strikes out 3 in the frame, and the Cardinals strand 3.
Pirates Baseball on Roots Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Bordas & Bordas, official legal partners of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Visit BordasLaw.com. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Happy Mother's Day to you, especially if you've got 2. We start the second inning and no score here in St. Louis. And Greg Gibson getting a little bit of a dispute. Pitchers never like the home plate umpire, right?
No, that's not true.
Okay.
I have had several umpires that I really liked a lot.
But on the next day that you started.
It depends on the umpire, whether I like them or not. They were a pitcher's umpire. Nowadays they're all kind of the same, or at least they try to be the same. You can't have the as big a difference between pitchers, umpires, and hitters, umpires as you could before you had the eye of the computer watching you.
Now, there's no pitch effects. There's no Quest Tech, its predecessor. Marte down on 3 pitches. Walker just using that off-speed stuff.
Well, he wanted that ball in, but he threw it away, and definitely worked out for him.
This is for David Freese. Molina paused on purpose to let the crowd cheer for their hometown hero, David Freese. First start here in St. Louis since he was traded away following the 13th season. And of course, World Series hero. Longtime teammate throws him out. You know, credit David Freese too. He talked at length with everybody about this experience and said, you know, this is the place, talking about Pittsburgh, this is the place where he really wants to be at this point in his career, but was thankful for the time he had here near his hometown in St. Louis.
You very seldom in the modern game of baseball have anybody that plays their entire career in one place. It's odd to be in 2 places. You know, 3 or 4 different teams in the course of a career is kind of what you look at as being the normal nowadays. Another quick inning by Walker.
Just 16 pitches through the first 2 innings.
Here at Busch Stadium as the Buccos go for the series win here. I'm Robbie and Smikowski. Well, Joe mentioned a couple moments ago, the catcher Chris Stewart is wearing special Mother's Day catching gear, and like any other catcher would wear catching gear, he wanted to break it in a little bit. So yesterday, he took the new equipment out of the box around his locker and walked around in it a little bit, caught a bullpen, walked around the clubhouse, maybe a little bit too much, Joe. He took the gear out of the box, and that included a trip to the cafeteria where he walked around and he sat with Sean Rodriguez and ate lunch with it, with his chest protector and knee guards on. I saw him walking out there and I asked Chris, hey, did you just eat lunch in your equipment? Sean Rodriguez jumped right in and said yes, he sure did. So that equipment should be in good shape for him today.
I got to break it in, yeah. Just had it for a day. Wanted to bring it out for Mom Kathy today and
It's like a giant bib. Keep the uniform clean.
Yeah, have some lobster. Why not? In case you hit your leg on the table. Yeah, it's getting underneath that one. Young shortstop at 4.02 in his first 28 big league games.
Absolutely amazing start to his career. 4.02, and it's a fairly hard 4.02. We're not talking about a spray hitter. Well, extra base hits, 5 home runs. A little shaky. I'm sorry, I was just going to say the only thing is a little shaky with the glove so far.
Well, this is a little bit unexpected because the Cardinals, remember, they were down with Johnny Peralta. To roll it over. But, you know, missing Peralta, they had to sign Ruben Tejada when the Mets released him, and then they threw Jed Jerko out there at shortstop, who hadn't really played there regularly since college. Diaz was kind of that 4th string guy who, you know, had a decent year last year in the minor leagues, but, you know, could he be the guy that ends up manning that position for a very long time? Maybe so. Haven't seen that in a while since the Wizard.
All depends on how that bat of his keeps going.
Now Colton Wong getting his first start at second base.
Wong needs to get his bat going.
Yeah, surprising. I mean, you know, it's funny how we always think how a baseball season's going to go. Colton Wong, I thought, is one of the more emerging young hitters in the game, and he hasn't played a whole lot because of that reason. Quickly 2 gone for Garrett Cole. Hey, sign up for the annual Pitch for Hope Women's Baseball Clinic on May 22nd, led by Pirates coaches. Packages include clinic access, a game ticket, and a private brunch and raffle. And proceeds from the clinic benefit a Glimmer of Hope Foundation. So visit pirates.com/pitch for hope. Walker hitless this year. Far cry from his predecessor yesterday. We were reading the Cardinals game notes. Adam Wainwright had a stretch where he had 4 straight extra base hits before the Pirates retired him his second time up. Now, that had not happened by any pitcher since 1901.
That is absolutely amazing. It's been that long.
And you were saying, you know, what about Bob Gibson? Or, I mean, this is for any team in baseball. I mean,
well,
you know.
And then I started thinking, well, you know, how often do you even have a hitter get 4 consecutive extra base hits?
That's true.
You know, that doesn't happen very often either. I'm not talking just 4 hits. Nice inning for Cole. This gets that pitch count back in shape.
Just 11 pitches. Mother's Day as the Pirates turn to Twitter and Instagram to honor their moms today. Our Point Park tweets. Francisco Cervelli, both in Spanish and in English, saying thank you. And Jordy Mercer's wife, Casey, a new mom again for the second time. Happy Mother's Day to you, whether you're a mom or you have a mom that's special in your life. Good day to remember that. It's cool that baseball has embraced that. Jordy Mercer, mom's name Tammy, and I want to say happy Mother's Day to my wife Beth, who is celebrating her first Mother's Day today. My mom Carol back in Michigan. Probably busy today with Mother's Day festivities, but
well, I might as well say happy birthday, happy Mother's Day.
Sometimes it can be one and the same.
Yeah, not in this case. To my lovely wife, Lori, who is at home right now. And also, I think I would need to say happy Mother's Day to the moms of my grandchildren. Dominique, Nikki, if you guys are listening or watching, happy Mother's Day.
Michael Wacha has retired the 7 men that he's faced so far. And in relatively short order.
Get that good changeup working.
Now, the Pirates are a team that generally work counts, see a lot of pitches. They've had the most base runners, total base runners of any team in baseball this season.
That really, though, more than the hitters is up to the pitcher to allow that. If a pitcher wants to be aggressive in that strike zone, then you can't do that. Now the Pirate hitters are also doing a great job on first pitches this year too.
And like you said, you know, if a pitcher is throwing a lot of strikes, you can't take a lot of pitches, because if he throws 3 pitches, you're out.
Yes, it's up to the pitcher to allow that.
And if they're quality strikes, meaning, you know, as we're seeing Wacha pretty much work the corners here, even if you do swing at them, you know, the Pirates are training themselves not to swing at pitchers that they're going to get themselves out on.
Right. That's the whole strategy about how they want to have their bats go is great against pitchers that are trying to get you to hit their pitch all the time. You know, they wanted to nip here, nip there, get you to kind of chase. If you've got a bunch of aggressive hitters, and that pitching strategy works very well. If you have guys up there that are hitting, that are patient, well, now instead of you being 0-2, you're pitching 2-0 all the time. That's not so good.
And even Clint Hurdle says, you know, good pitching beats good hitting. And so even as good as the Pirates hitters have been, if you're pitching well, doesn't matter who you're facing. Wacha has 8 outs on 25 pitches.
It's happened in the past, but it's not the norm to see a high-scoring All-Star game. And those are the best hitters.
That's a great point.
Those are the best hitters there are. So if the pitchers are doing their job, even the great hitters will have relatively speaking, a difficult time with it. Hitting is not easy.
It's born with failure.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, you
300 hitter.
A successful hitter fails way more than he succeeds, which kind of sounds odd to say, but that's the truth.
Unless you're Barry Bonds. When he was at his peak, I think he got on base actually more than
half the time.
Then he didn't, but he's the one exception to that rule ever. Cole sees a couple of balls. Might as well, if you're a pitcher up there, you might as well just rest the bat on your shoulder and see if you can extract a couple of more pitches from Wacha here, huh? Until you get 2 strikes. And talk about a pretty good hitter. Stan the man. The game for Inside Pirates Baseball, and 10-year-old Jacob Haw forms a tight bond with Clint Hurdle through his fundraising efforts. What's behind the Pirates' new celebration and much more? It's Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network. Today after postgame right here on Root Sports. On our UPMC scoreboard, 0-0. Another tight one here in St. Louis. These two teams, as we talked about earlier, have been very tight in recent years. Garrett Cole's been very good against the Cardinals. Survived a little bit of a rough and tumble first. Cardinals loaded the bases, but he got out of it.
Greg and I talked about this a little bit in yesterday's game about how these teams have really been battling for the division championship now for quite a while. Tough, hard-fought games all the time. But they've been able to stay away from the bad blood type deal that sometimes you get in those scenarios. And how immediate the bad blood has happened now, battling with the Cubs in the same, I mean, it's like overnight with them. It's odd how some teams you just don't seem to get along with, and other teams it's just like that real a nice, it's a rivalry, but a lot of respect out there. Until somebody gets hit a couple times.
And that's bound to happen. I mean, the way the Pirates pitching inside, several of the Pirates crowd the plate.
But I mean, that has happened though, and they still, it's not gotten out of hand at all like it did a couple years ago with Cincinnati, and now it seems to be going on a little bit with the Cubs, or actually a lot with the Cubs.
Hot shot, base hit. Matt Carpenter leads off the Cardinals' third with a single.
Looked like it was belt high on the outside half. Heck of a player, isn't he?
He's even his best is yet to come in this season. 28 home runs for Carpenter last year. He's the kind of hitter, to me, I'm curious your thoughts on it. There's a lot of guys out there that, like Wade Boggs used to be, for instance. Remember that one year he hit 24 home runs? Carpenter last year decided that he wants to hit 28 home runs. He could either hit 330 or he could hit you 30 home runs in a season, depending on the kind of mindset he'd like to have. He's that kind of versatile hitter, in my view. I'm curious your take.
Just looks like a great hitter to me.
Ichiro's a guy like that in its prime. Falls in, and the Cardinals with a couple of men aboard.
I think with Carpenter, as far as the power goes, it probably is a little bit more of right-hander, left-hander on the mound kind of deal. I noticed that he has a tendency to hit the ball in the air more when he's facing a right-hander as a left-hander. Don't really know why that is, but I'm looking at some of his splits before the ball game today. But the guys change, I think, quite a bit more than we really realize when they have the right-hander out there or the left-hander. Not necessarily changing, their swing or anything like that, but just the way they think about it, their approach, because the pitches themselves are going to be so different.
There's Matt Holliday. 2 men aboard with nobody out.
Even your switch hitters that are always facing a pitcher that throws from the opposite direction, they're standing up there.
I thought they might try to get the force. They'll get 2 though. I was looking at Freese over at third base, thinking if he takes another step toward third base before that play, they might even try to go around the horn third to second and maybe even on to first.
Yeah,
they
we'll
get
see
2.
on the replay. I looking at the replay, he's just too far away from third base. If he goes to third, he's going to get one out. That's it.
I was licking my chops for a potential triple play. That's what.
Yeah, if he'd have been a little closer. But as I was saying, even like your switch hitters, even those guys are different against right-handers and left-handers a great deal. Very seldom are switch hitters, going to be the same when they're hitting left-handed or when they're hitting right-handed. They're usually two different
Neil
type
Walker
of hitters.
was a great example of that.
Yeah, Neil a much better left-hand hitter than he was a right-hander.
So Cole benefiting from that double play here. Getting a big strikeout back in the first inning when he's gotten into trouble. He's gotten out of it quickly. If he could get Moss here, the pitch count still reasonable after that 33 pitch first inning.
Hook foul. Thank you.
Missed with a couple borderline pitches, then had to come in with the slider.
Nothing but a strike. No big deal.
Well, the Cardinals have two left-handed hitting first basemen, which against the righty no big deal, but they've had to start him against lefties. Holiday experiment over there first has died down a little bit. Beats the shift, and he'll bring home the game's first run. Moss with a 2-out RBI double, and St. Louis up 1-0.
They went with the curveball. Probably ahead in the count. Wanted that ball maybe to bounce right at the feet of Stewart. Ball ended up being in the strike zone.
It's funny, with a lefty hitter, if you put it at the bottom of the strike zone, that's kind of in their wheelhouse. A righty hitter, not as much.
Yeah.
It's weird how lefties
swing.
swing.
If you're going to throw it downstairs to a lefty, you need to either bounce it, throw what they call the back foot breaking ball, or you got to have to kind of backdoor it and hope for that call to strike three, where he gives up on it because it's outside, and then it comes in and hits the outside corner.
It seems like just about every lefty has that, especially power hitting lefties, that uppercutting swing. Molina worked a 9-pitch walk back to the first. This time he gets his man, but the Cardinals strike first and strand the man through 3, 1-0.
It's time for the Toyota RAV4th inning. The all-wheel drive RAV Hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
Happy Mother's Day to you. From St. Louis, the Cardinals open with a 1-0 lead. Great day for a ball game here. Maybe his first one. Michael Wacha has not allowed a base runner through the first 3. See if Jaso can change that second time around in the order. Moss made a nice lunging catch to rob him of a base hit. So Moss driving in the run with a 2-out double and making that good play in the field. Former All-Star with the A's. Broke his bat. It tied up Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, Carpenter, if he would have turned and broke for the outfield right off the bat when that ball was hit, then he would have caught it. But he backpedaled a little bit, and then when he turned, it was too late.
Now, he's the third baseman, but he's played plenty of second base before. He's been in that spot.
Oh, yeah, he's not real sure. See him backpedal? And that he's not getting back as quick as he needed to. Took him just a couple of steps to read that ball where it was going to be.
Jaso with a base hit. First time the Pirates have been aboard. Funny how the game evens itself out, huh?
Yeah. Immediately sometimes. A line out and then a soft broken bat, little fister that goes for the hit.
McCutchen lined out sharply his first time.
So you should get how about just a ground ball through the infield here.
Like that? Here's one of the pitchers that actually gets better as the day goes on. Some of the better pitchers seem to have those numbers, right? You know, the lesser pitchers generally don't. They become relievers. Wacha's a different pitcher since adding that cutter.
And came off the bat. I think we need a little more pine tar.
Broke his bat, and there's a base hit.
There we go. What are we talking about?
Justice. So a couple of singles, and the Pirates have a chance to answer.
Pink bats don't sound good when you hit them.
I've never seen a pink tree. I don't know where those come from.
Make those out of the pink dogwoods.
Oh, okay. Maybe a cherry blossom. Now Polanco with a chance here. 7 for 15 in his career against Wacha. Hard hit, good foul. Well, knowing how this series has gone, not only this weekend, but really the last several years. Cardinals take a lead, Pirates come back, or vice versa. You know, it's to use the seesaw analogy is pretty appropriate here.
And nobody can ever feel comfortable.
Same thing in the division. Cardinals lead the division. Pirates are on top. Cardinals come back. Mike Matheny has overseen some good clubs in his tenure. Now in his 5th year as the skipper.
Pretty good winning percentage in his career, huh? Matheny. Jung Ho getting the day off.
Now that's by design. 2 on, 1 off. He's available to pinch hit today. Nothing wrong with him.
Gonna ease him back in.
That's the only reason for it. Ball and 2 strikes. Now, if you just take off that top team. All right, let's just put our hand over that top team for a minute. Look and see, it's just like we're talking about it. They're going back and forth. Yeah, the Cubs are off to a great start. I mean, they've had such tremendous separation early in the year.
Comeback win yesterday.
Polanco strikes out.
95. The case there is Walker reaching back, getting a couple mile/per-hour extra on the 2-strike fastball. Nice location too as he moves it inside.
That's his best. Marte had the big hit to tie the game. The Pirates down to their final strike. He doubled in the 9th yesterday.
Handling with a strikeout that first time up. Marte's been hitting the ball this year inside very well.
That's where he hit the ground rule double. Just
bounced over that gate.
Yep.
That gate's just a little bit shorter than where the fence is. And I think that's what did it. There's that cutter outside, but Marte really handling the ball on the inside half very well, especially the ball down. You know, Joe, you were talking about how lefties seem to have that kind of down swing where I think Marte is like that from the right side. And almost you can see those little practice swings. How somebody told me one time, watch guys practice swings and they'll tell you where they're more comfortable hitting the ball. I don't know if there's any truth to that or whatever. I just noticed Marte there kind of giving the little practice swing down low, and he's a pretty good low ball hitter.
Hard to get that same grip with those heavily lacquered bats.
Yeah, I mean, I was a pitcher, so what's my opinion about a bat mean? But I could not have a bat that had any paint or lacquer on the handle. I hated it, slippery feeling. But like I said, my opinion on bats probably carry a lot of weight. Always like the tape too. Like a lot of tape on the handle. Yeah, just felt, you know, like you were on something to hold on to.
Yeah, a lot of the normal bats, guys will tape them up.
Well, a lot of the normal bats too. They only have the lacquer on the barrel. It doesn't come down onto the handle. Not all of them are like that, but
the players do not have to use those bats. They're electing to use those bats today. When that first started, what, 10 years ago now, only a select few brought out the bats, and now it seems like almost everybody uses them on Mother's Day.
It's surprising how particular hitters can be about their bats.
And then one day just change everything.
I've seen some real good hitters kind of care less about their bats. You know, just it's like they could go up there with anything. But I've seen some guys that not only there has to be the correct model, length, weight, all that stuff, but the grains, they look at those all the time. They have to be perfect.
Can't even see the grains on these bats. Walker, after a couple of singles, has struck out Polanco and now Marte.
Yeah, that one made good low ball hitter, but not this low. He chased it out of the strike zone. Another changeup too, wasn't it? Yep, another changeup. Boy, that's a good pitch for him. When you can throw, when you have a left-hander throwing left-hander's changeup, or right-hander on right-hander, and they're having success, that's the sign of a good changeup. I know I've probably repeating myself most of the time. I see somebody that has a good one like that, I always point that out.
Started promisingly, but Walker works out of it. 2 hits, 2 left for the Buccos, still trailing 1-0. And in 1994, the Bucs swept a doubleheader from the Cubs. Andy Van Slyke went 8 for 9, a double, a home run, 5 runs, 4 RBIs. Game 1, Jay Bell helping out the offense with 3 hits. Game 2, Brian Hunter went 3 for 4. He drove in 4 on Mother's Day. How about that? Mother's Day doubleheader back in '94. Today, only one scheduled. Garrett Cole has given up 4 hits.
How about that? Speaking of doubleheaders, and which makes me think of rain. How about the storm front that came?
Oh boy!
Through like 5 minutes after the last out.
As soon as we went off the air.
Didn't last long, but it was impressive while it was here.
Yeah, big storms moved through that would have delayed action. That's funny how that 9th inning went yesterday. It just shows you how close these games have been. You know, we talked about the Marte double just getting over the wall. Polanco running on the pitch with 2 outs, easily scores otherwise. And talking with Clint Hurdle before the game today, you know, if they've got a lead, well, clearly they're going to go with Melancon. Instead, in a tie game, that Clint Hurdle wanted to go with A.J. Schugel, who in his previous outing, 9 up, 9 down, he had pitched well. Hazelbaker strikes out. And so you have a different pitcher out there. Now, obviously, if Carpenter hits the home run, then that negated the 1-run lead anyway, but it's a different pitcher. Cole's curve's been looking really good today.
Yep. Except that one he threw to Moss. That was the only one. One bad pitch all day.
One bad pitch that was exploited.
Yep.
I remember, what was it? Molina's first at bat, he threw him a fastball right down the middle that he fouled back, but you know, you don't remember that. Aledmys Diaz.
What a good pitch right there.
Out of Santa Clara, Cuba. Started playing in the Cuban National Series at age 16. 25 now. And the rookie has really set things on fire. Signed a 4-year deal a couple of years ago as an international free agent. The collective bargaining agreement will expire at the end of this year. I'm curious if we'll ever see an international draft. You know, these players from Cuba can sign if they're a certain age as free agents. Hot shot to Freeze. He's done that a couple of times today. 2 gone. Hey, the Bucks and PNC Bank have teamed up to help Pirates fans save $5 on select Sunday through Thursday tickets, plus $5 in loaded value, good for concessions and merchandise. All you got to do is use your PNC Pirates Affinity card to purchase your tickets. So find out more at pirates.com/piratescard. Colton Wong. Now how do you not convince your kids to go the right way on that? There's, okay, Junior over there, he's a Buccos fan. Right back to the mound. And a 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Cole.
Let's go hit.
5th coming up, down 1-0.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Equinox and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. With express service, you're in and out in no time. Visit barrelservice.com to find a location near you. Let's go Bucks!
5th inning on tap. Glad you're with us on Mother's Day. 1-0 St. Louis. Some Buccos fans making their way here today.
A lot of sun out there today.
Always practice sun safety.
Oh, I don't think that was a very happy thing right there. No, I don't want any. No, I'm fine.
You will eat the sunscreen.
I'm fine.
This is what moms moms do.
This is why they're honored. No, I don't want any on my back either.
He'll like it better when his skin doesn't match his hair color. See, moms have to do the tough job. Son, you don't want to be all cardinal red. Here's some sunscreen. See, mommy will wear it too. Harrison got underneath this one. See, we're here. All right, now we got to get your arms, legs. I'm dressing my kids in jeans just for this reason. Less fuss.
Water babies.
All right, round 2.
the nose is always a tough spot. You got to get a lot of the nose.
And you know she's already applied some like back in the first.
Yeah, when they got out of the car.
Yeah, so this is the second application. He's not. He's right back into the game. Okay, I'm ready.
You know, after going through all that, I think he deserves a big thing of cotton candy. Don't you?
He's going to go get some right now.
Go grab some cotton candy from the concession stand.
Later, Mom.
It's pink.
I'm going to go sit by somebody else.
Cotton candy's pink. What do we got?
Stared down that Cardinal fan
we're
pretty
getting
good.
Something out of the sack there, I think. Uh-oh.
Mercer draws a walk. First one issued by Wacha today.
Yeah, Wacha's been really good with his location, but missed there. Let's see what the Pirates do here with the base runner and 1 out.
He's getting reassembled.
He's trying to get something out of that bag.
He's got a glove.
Getting ready for a foul ball.
Chris Stewart bounced out his first time. Hard to pick out the Buccos fans. See the ushers and lots of red.
It's kind of hard to pick out the Buccos. Just glance down there. It's like the Cardinals are playing an inter-squad game.
It's like that. Didn't the Washington Senators kind of wear that like almost pinkish red, maybe in the 60s, I think it was? Just looking at old baseball cards.
Well,
kind of reminds me of the old
have to ask
Senators.
Have to ask Steve.
I'll write him a letter and see if.
Oh, he's watching. He's sitting at home watching right now.
I can't text him.
No, it'd have to be a letter.
Yeah. Can't send him an email. See, at least you still know it's the Pirates when you look at the Sox. Fair ball. And this one's slowly rolling into the corner. Mercer's coming home, and he's going to score on the double by Chris Stewart. Well placed, and we are tied.
Very well placed. That's smart hitting. Boy, the ball was eating him up. Somehow he was able to get that ball turned. A lot of times that ball in on the hands, it's hard to hit down that line.
Run batted in for Chris Stewart. Nodding the score. Smart base running too.
I don't really understand. Why are we? There's 1 out, right?
Well, I mean, you hit the ball. I'm trying to explain. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Why were we sacrifice bunting there?
Maybe he was doing it to bring in the corners.
Somebody had to miss a sign.
Yeah, runner at third, 2 outs. It doesn't do you much difference.
Well, if you got Billy Hamilton hitting, maybe. Chaslos doesn't run like Billy Hamilton, though. Probably not going to get a lot of infield hits. Marte hit coming up. I mean, it's very unusual to see that done, but there's an argument for it when a guy's coming to the plate that gets a lot of infield hits.
Yeah, he swung away twice. Might have just missed the sign.
Yeah, I think he missed the sign.
He's down on strikes. Should have bunted. Would have moved up the runner. Just kidding.
How about he should have swung? Might have put it in play.
Wacha registering his 6th strikeout. Pirates have tied it at 1 here in the 5th. And yeah, I think maybe you missed the sign there.
Yeah, some kind of a excuse me.
You all right over there?
A piece of popcorn or something got stuck.
Oh.
Some kind of miscommunication there.
We'll get you
I had a little
some coffee.
I had a
for
little
once.
caramel corn between innings, and it's kind of got me now. Coffee's not helping right now.
Do you need to take a break here?
I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay, all right. Take care. Get yourself right. That one nearly fair.
You know what's going to happen now? Jaso's going to get an infield hit.
Well, we've been talking about he stung the ball the first time around, and Moss made a terrific lunging catch. Then he broke his bat the second time, a little pop-up that fell in. Now trying to score Stewart with 2 outs. Walker sent down the first 9 men in a row. 4 of the 9 reaching the second time around in the order against Walker. Jaso's 3rd plate appearance. The other first baseman making a nice play on Jaso. Always on. Two. Jaso really staying with it.
Got a battle going.
Got that pitch count up to 71 now. That's not high, but considering where it was after a couple of innings, it's an accomplishment for the Pirates. He needed only 16 pitches, did Walker, to get through the first 2 innings.
Yeah, so you're looking at 71 here in the 5th. That, if you look at it that way, that is high.
9, 7, 14, 19, and now 23 here in the 5th. And now it's full, 3-2. Trying to move the line for Andrew McCutchen.
Kutch hits him very well. This would be nice to get him to the plate. A couple guys on.
Payoff pitch. And you'll see another. This will be the 9th pitch of this at bat upcoming to Jaso. Hit well to right field. Piscotty back, looking up, and there it goes over the wall. John Jaso with a 2-out, 2-run home run, and the Pirates have their first lead, 3-1.
Oh, what a battle that turned out to be. Fouling off ball after ball, taking a couple close pitches, and then winning it not only by getting on base on ball, anything like that, but winning it with a home run.
And it just got past Piscotty over that wall. Well, a week ago Sunday, Jaso with a big home run, and another one here.
And the home run has stayed a part of this Pirate offense.
Look at Piscotty.
Yeah, the opening week of the season, maybe not so much, but since then, you know, nobody's going to lead the league in home runs, but it's still, you're getting the long balls often enough to where you can expect somebody to hit one every game. A little instant offense.
Scotty looked at his glove. He thought he might have had it. Well, we talk about it being
a nice effort.
A game of inches just missing.
He was a little late. If he could have got to the wall earlier, he might have been able to do something. But not there in time.
That close. Big home run for Jaso.
And now it was in the 70s with that pitch count we were talking about when it was at 1. Now he's about to throw number 81.
This one hit well to left and deep. And this one is foul. That was a mammoth shot.
That got way up there in the stands. A little too much hook on it.
It's a long way from here.
When you sit down and watch the game up there, you don't expect to see a baseball.
Ooh. That is the third deck in left. Why not center field? Hazelbaker with some room. Pirates strike for 3 big runs here in the 5th. Coming up, the Pirates with a 3-1 lead now. Fred Bird and Mom Bird here in St. Louis. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. John Jaso sneaking that 2-run home run right over the wall. And now Garrett Cole gets to work with the lead.
Another one of those games. We talked about it since the open. Back and forth, tight.
Gets to face the pitcher to lead off the inning. Don't look now, but Cole might end up having a similar pitch count to Waka at the end of 5 innings today. Rebounded nicely after that first inning where he bent but didn't break. Ray Searage visited him after loading the bases with 2 outs, and he struck out Hazelbaker on 3 pitches to end that inning. No runs.
Well, how did Walker not go after that one? This is kind of the perfect setup for you, though. You take the lead, and then you have the pitcher leading off in an inning where you want to go out there and really make it real quick, get back into the bats, keep the momentum going your way, and like start off with an out.
You'll never go hungry sitting in the Sugardale all-you-can-eat seats at PNC Park. Eat unlimited hot dogs, hamburgers, soda, ice cream, and my favorite, more. Tickets start at $45, and you can find out more at pirates.com/all-you-can-eat. Kind of had that experience yesterday here. Got some noodles and vegetables and chicken here, and I just kept eating. They fill you up here.
Yeah, they give you a full plate.
A little stir fry action yesterday. That's inside 2-0.
It's one of those really great ballparks to come to watch a game. Beautiful park, nice sight lines, plenty of good stuff to eat, drink, and that's actually across the street. It looks like it's part of the ballpark, but it's not. That's across the street.
It was built just a few years ago, and on the old site of the previous Busch Stadium. Yeah, you can sit up there. There's a bar areas, restaurants.
And that's
Cardinal Museum is
kind of like what they do in Chicago with the seats over across the street. But
so, are you saying the Cardinals are trying to copy the Cubs?
They did. They're not trying to. They did.
Cardinals would never admit to that.
Rooftop seating across the street.
Right.
I mean, that's not a original idea, is it?
Now, this is inside.
Now that might be original. I don't think they have that inside at Wrigley across the street.
Yeah, so you can just come. You just come off the street if you can't make it into the game. You can sit there and watch the game nearby. It's really transformed this immediate area. A lot of traffic out there during games. They close the street off.
And for years we kept looking out there at an empty lot, thinking, "What are they going to do? What are they going to do with that?"
Yeah.
Well, they
this is the third year of that, probably. I think.
Finally decided, and it's really a nice situation they have.
That's the view from out there. Great shots.
Hey, wave.
Scotty singled both times today. Nothing beats PNC Park, but this is a decent one here in St. Louis for sure. They got it right.
Yeah, there's a handful of really good ones around the National League, and this obviously is one of them.
Little flare could be trouble, and Polanco able to cut it off.
Covering up that ground out there nicely with those long strides of his.
Those are one of those plays that make you appreciate the Pirates' speed in the outfield.
And this ball slicing off the bat, so it's helping him out a little coming back to him. Such long legs. And also a good reach, too. He can just, because of the general size, I mean, very tall man, I mean, he can just reach up and get to balls that other outfielders can't.
Well, that keeps Carpenter at first for Matt Holliday. 0 for 2 today. Reached on that strikeout back in the first inning, but then bounced into a double play in the third.
Like he's slimmed himself up a little bit from last year.
I hadn't noticed that, but now that you say that. Well, he's a tremendous workout guy.
He's gotten a little older, and you need to pay attention to that even more than when you're in your 20s.
Yeah, 36 now. Power has been down for most of the last couple of years. Got 3 this year. Came up with the Rockies under Clint Hurdle. Big part of that 07 World Series outfit in Colorado.
And he the one that made that slide at home?
Mm-hmm. That was in the play-in game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They'll get the out. And so the walk spoiled. And the Pirates take a 3-1 lead into the 6th. Beautiful sentiments on our Point Park tweets. Sean Rodriguez with his really gregarious family. They are always at the ballpark. Starling Marte and his family. Wife Noelia already expecting any day now, any moment now, really. And congratulations to all of our new moms out there as well. If you're celebrating your first Mother's Day, or if it's many Mother's Days. Thanks for sharing it with us here this afternoon. There's been some squabbles in that bridge game over the years, I bet.
Yeah, most likely.
Polanco tossing away the elbow guard a moment ago, and he's got some nice gear on there today. Yeah, a lot of the Pirates are going with the all black socks today. Try to match up as best they can with the new pink. Instead of having the ringed socks with the yellow, just to take a day off from that. Now a strike.
I wonder if anybody will ever go back to wearing the stirrup sock. Probably not.
Oh, you know it's a game of cycles. Let's go back to the studios, and Paul Alexander's got a game break. Well, that is something, considering that Arrieta has thrown more no-hitters than had losses in his last, what, 25, 26 starts or whatever
That's
that
definitely
crazy number is.
Big news. He's losing.
Even as good as he is, eventually
he will lose again.
He's going to lose, and he's going to lose a little bit. He's going to have a rough stretch.
Looks like it might happen today.
Pitched very well against the Pirates back on Tuesday. Pirates will be traveling to Chicago later on this road trip. It's Cincinnati after this one today. Pirates have played a lot on the road to begin the season. After that 3-game opening series against the Cardinals, 23 of 34 on the road. And the Pirates have a winning record so far in that stretch. So they'll enjoy a lot more home games the rest of the year. David Freese to follow. Sure wouldn't mind getting his first hit of the day back in St. Louis. I got here, had some time to spend with family. Marte puts it in play for the first time today, and he's going to have extra bases. Another ground rule double.
Last time up, we were talking about the low ball hitting of Marte. He golfed this one. Goes down and gets that one. Holiday, couple steps in, and then
didn't get a good read on that.
No. There it is. It goes down and golfs it off the warning track.
And we were talking earlier about how lefty batters always seem to have that kind of uppercutting swing. They like the pitch down and in. Righties usually not as much, but you observed that Marte.
Yeah, I think Marte is a good. Good low ball hitter. He likes going down and getting that. Especially that one was kind of down and in the middle. That down and in, the strike that's down and in. He doesn't miss many of those. Pleases his pitching, or excuse me, his hitting coach, I'm sure. Jeff likes to see those line drives over the outfielder's head.
Now David Freese. Talking about how he really has found a great fit at this point in his career with the Pirates. And he's got a base hit. Marte with speed, going to be waved around third. Holiday's throw comes into second, and the Pirates add on. It's 4-1.
And not too many times you're not going to be able to score Marte on a hit. Ends up coming in without even a play.
No more ovations for David Freese here.
No, that's over with now. Okay, they got that done. If you were mentioning all the road games, I mean, that's kind of what you like to think about is like, okay, we keep our head above water on the road, and then you really do your damage at home. So after this stretch, if things continue to go well in this game, that'll be 2 out of 3 here. You know, hopefully similar results in Cincinnati and Chicago, and you've done more than keep your head above water.
Pirates 7-7 at home after being swept by the Cubs. 9-7 on the road. Yeah, get those road games out of the way to start.
Get them out of the way. Be above 500, and then really go to work and enjoy those home games, especially now they're starting to get a little warmer. Get away from any of those cold games.
Freese running on the pitch. Got hit hard with that comebacker. So Freese in scoring position with 2 outs. This one really got a lot of walk-up.
Freese looking over his shoulder to see where the ball was hit, if it was put in the air or not.
Probably a run and hit considering where that ball was, though Harrison, a pretty good low ball hitter himself, bad ball hitter. 100th pitch from Wacha. We're talking, you know, I mean, 16 pitches through 2 innings. He's cruising. And now a chance to maybe even knock him out before the 6th is over. Matt Bowman loosening in the Cardinal bullpen.
This is not turning out to be a good start for Wacha. He's already given up 4 runs. Even if he completes the 6th inning, 4 runs in 6 innings is it's hard to make a case that's a good start.
Well, they're going to just walk Mercer. Stewart coming up. He just doubled his last time around. It's amazing how the game changes. Intentional pass. Bowman, if you're unfamiliar, don't feel badly. He was in the minor leagues until this year, the rookie, a Rule 5 draft pick. And so he's generally appeared in one-sided affairs. Stewart with that run-scoring double in that 3-run 5th. Pirates have added another here in the 6th. Two on with 2 out. Gerrit Cole would be next. One and underneath it. Hazelbaker tires it. Pirates add another run. Strand a pair and are leading 4-1. On a 4-1 lead. Let's try to win this series, and a look at our Nissan road ahead. They'll take on the Reds next in Cincinnati. Nice, Nicasio, and Lariano against Straley, Simon, and Adelman. None of those guys started Red spring training with the ball club. Adelman was the only one even in the organization, and added as spring went on.
Hey, that Red rotation is a work in progress, I guess. You would describe it.
Adelman pitched well against Pirates, though, in his big league debut.
They have had a tough time. I think Alfredo Simon in his last start pitched well, even though his earned run average is not going to reflect that for a while. He's going to have some work to get that down. Nice 3-run cushion.
David Freese driving in that extra run in the top half of this inning.
They just moved everybody into the. We saw him there start backpedaling. They want him to go ahead and move all the way back to a traditional shortstop position.
Yeah, all four on to pull for Moss. Hit a run scoring double in the third. That's been the lone Cardinals tally.
Pretty good pitch. Can tell by Cole's reactions to get that ball back. He thought he had thrown a strike.
And he strikes him out. 7 strikeouts for Garrett Cole.
83 miles an hour on that curveball. He really got some good velocity on that. The harder you throw him, the better the bite. A.J. Burnett, his curveball was always in the low 80s. That real hard bite, great strikeout pitch. Even when A.J. got older, he was always able to maintain that very good velocity with his curveball.
Now, I haven't sat in against Garrett Cole. Maybe I'll do it next spring training. But when I've stood in and tracked pitches before for guys that had a good curveball, and it's fascinating to me to see how it starts off. If you don't have that loopy curveball, it starts out straight and then it just kind of drops. It seems like Cole's is looking like that today. It's hard to pick up as a hitter, I would imagine.
My first major league at bat was against Bert Blyleven.
One of the best curveball artists of the year.
To me, the best way, the way I described it at the time, when I got back and told people about it, it was like there's the ball and then it just like goes poof and disappears. And the next thing you hear is it hits the glove and they're like, how did it do that? Where did it go? The break on Blyleven's curveball was so quick and so like just violent that I lost sight of it.
Only got a lot of that one, but it'll stay in the ballpark.
But that's how the guys that have the real good hard biting curveball, that's what it's like. It's like it almost like it bounces off something and changes direction.
Who are some of the guys that you either pitched against, faced at the plate, seen as a broadcaster? Who are some of the best curveballs in the last 30 years or so? Anybody else come to mind?
It's hard.
Blyleven was one of the best.
Yeah, it's hard that when you're not, sitting up there and getting a chance to see it from home plate to really say, okay, this guy's curveball is that. So I almost have to go with just guys I actually got to
face.
And I always thought that the best one I ever faced was Dwight Gooden.
Jeremy Hazelbaker has had a run. That's out of here, and he's hit his 6th home run. Cardinals don't go away quietly. Now 4-2.
But any hard thrower like Cole is, if they can get that same good velocity on their hook that they have to go with the fastball, those guys always have the good curves. I think that might have been a changeup. It didn't look like it broke.
And now Diaz rips an extra base hit in the left field corner.
Yeah, that's a slider that it looked like maybe just a get me over slider. He was just trying to throw strike one with it, and Diaz, instead of taking on the first pitch, decided that he was going to be aggressive and ripped it down in the corner. Sometimes that'll happen the one time where you try to throw just a get me over pitch to get ahead, and the hitter will pick that spot to be really aggressive and go after it. There's not many hitters really like having to hit a breaking ball on the first pitch they see. So, you know, someone will be hunting first pitch fastball, but not so often first pitch breaking ball that they'll jump on it.
And just now getting up, Archimedes Caminero and Kyle Lobstein, the lefty, as Ray Searage makes a mound visit here. Two very hard hit balls after Cole has been pretty much cruising. At 100 pitches on the dot.
I'm trying to think back your question about a curveball. It's like all the guys that you think of as being legendary real hard throwers also had great curveballs. Guys like Koufax, guys like Seaver, guys like Nolan Ryan, they all had that hammer. And I think that's probably why I bring up Gooden. He was also
he was
top
one of the
flight
best early in his
fastball guy.
career.
Brett Saberhagen, great curveball. Very hard thrower, at least on even years. Or was it odd years? I can't remember now. Yeah.
I think it was odd years. They won in '85.
He seemed to always have that every other year Cy Young-like stats.
Colton Wong representing the tying run here after the home run by Hazelbaker. Diaz on the next pitch, that ripping double. Hazelbaker a year ago was at home trying to figure out where his career was going after being released in the minors from the Dodgers. Cardinals pick him up. His career flourished, and now in the big leagues. Amazing what a year can do in the career of a ball player.
Some guys don't get all that many opportunities, and the key is when you finally do get it, you have to be lucky enough to get in one of those hot streaks that everybody really gets into. And now he's getting an opportunity up here, and he's smoking hot, making good use of this opportunity. And it won't be long. I mean, if it hasn't happened already, to where he'll be just like, okay, he's our guy.
Cole's last fastball at 98. He knows he can empty the tank now. Another 0-2. Little tapper back to the mound. Good curveball again today from Garrett Cole, and he'll stop it right there. Cardinals get another 4-2 as we head to the 7th.
Is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
4-2 Pirates. Seems like that'll be it for Garrett Cole.
That's a hug. Over 100 pitches. I mean, that's pretty much what you look for nowadays.
Let's take a look at our Barrel Automotive League leaders. Baseball's team leaders in pinch hit home runs. Cardinals have had quite the success. Matt Joyce has 3 all by himself.
Yeah,
that leads baseball.
When you think of 3, that's pretty awesome. But 7 pinch hit home runs in just a little over a month of baseball. That's pretty good, but it's not as good as having 3 all by yourself.
Yeah, that no one else has done that in baseball. Joyce has. Leads in RBIs as well. He'll bat for Cole to start the 7th. And we got a new pitcher for St. Louis as well. Matt Bowman.
There you see what Bowman has done to this point. Quite a few games for a Rule 5 guy. Number 11 already.
Yeah, AAA last year with the Mets.
Opposition hitting just 205 versus Bowman. There's times where guys will start off as that Rule 5 bullpen guy that never gets to pitch, but then little success, and then by the middle of the year, he's worked himself up the totem pole a little.
Great example of that is the Cubs' Hector Rondon.
Yeah.
A few years back. So sometimes there's a diamond in the rough. Sometimes they're just rough. But you got to keep them on the roster the whole year.
Yeah, you never know. Diamonds sometimes it turn out to be quartz, which can be useful. Like a watch,
yeah.
Countertop.
Here's the 3-2. And Matt Joyce will work the walk. You know, as impressive as Joyce has been, with the pinch hits, 5 pinch hits. I mean, he's walked, I think, 5 times as a pinch hitter, too. I mean, he's getting on base more than half the time as a pinch hitter.
And he certainly has some pedigree as a good major league hitter. And we've seen that from spring training on. He knows what he's all about when he steps into that box. And so does this guy.
John Jaso.
No third baseman. All he has to do is just push that ball down toward third base, and he had a hit.
Just trying to keep the line moving. This has been a very selfless Pirates offense this season. Cardinals will dare Jaso to do that. Some of the guys wearing the sunglasses today.
Look in the mirror and see what he's looking at. See Bowman in the reflection.
He's got him in his sights. Jaso putting the Pirates on top for the first time. Narrowly depositing that one over the wall and right. A 2-run home run with 2 outs in that 5th inning.
Do a high five with Polanco, you got to jump a little ways, don't you?
Very much a high five. Toward the gap.
Sit down.
And it'll drop in. That'll be extra bases. Joyce will be held up at third with nobody out. 3 hits today for John Jaso. Remember, Remember he got robbed back in the first inning?
Yeah.
He's cashing back in now.
But he did get the little soft broken bat hit, kind of made up for that one. I wonder if anybody's ever had such a great day with the stick on Mother's Day that they use the pink bats for the next month.
I think they allow it, quite frankly.
Really? Can't have a pink bat tomorrow?
Sean Rodriguez pinch running for Jaso.
Who was that pitcher in Philadelphia? I don't know if he's still there or not. He used a pink glove all the time. Remember?
Michael Jackson used to use a singular
Is that
glove.
what it was? Pink glove?
Well, I guess he actually also pitched for the Phillies too. I meant the late entertainer. But
Oh no, I mean
he was a pitcher for the Phillies.
yeah.
I was kind of kidding, but kind of works. I can't think of who you're talking about though. Ah, it was Jerome Williams.
He had the pink glove.
Tap foul, strike one. Seth Maness getting up. And Jerome Williams' mom passed away because of breast cancer back in 2001. So that was his way of honoring her fight against breast cancer. Infield in for the Cardinals. Now 2 strikes on McCutchen. Pirates can gain some separation here. Base hit might be able to score a pair if it sneaks through.
Talking about these close games, Pirates trying to bust this one open. They don't want it to be close.
Lead runner is Joyce. That pinch hit walk. Rodriguez pinch ran for Jaso, who doubled. Molina still one of the best behind the plate. Infield in. Sofield ready to get that windmill going. McCutchen today 1 for 3. Jaso with 3 hits. Out of the game now.
See everybody in on the edge of the grass in the Cardinal infield. And another thing that does, it makes it very difficult to prevent anybody from scoring from second base on a base hit.
And there it is. Joyce is in. Rodriguez held up. And Holiday charged that ball well. Still with nobody out. Being held there. RBI single for McCutchen. 5-2 Pirates.
And the reason it's so difficult to do, I was about to say, that your secondary lead can be as big as you want it to be.
And,
I mean,
Rodriguez had a huge jump. Look at where he's at.
Yeah, you can get well off there, and there's nothing that the catcher can do about it because there's no one to throw to. All the infielders are in on the grass, and that's the only thing that ever really prevents you from taking that big secondary lead is the fear of that catcher throwing behind you. But when you have the infield playing in, that takes that away. You can get the big secondary lead, be way off there to give yourself that better jump.
McCutchen's 13th run batted in. Now Polanco 0 for 3 today. Infield still in. Trying to break through after the Cardinals touched Garrett Cole for a run on the home run by Hazelbaker in the bottom of the 6th. Cole in line to win after going 6, allowing a couple of runs. Cole struck out 7 today. This one hit deep down the line, and
Fair
this
ball.
one is gone. Home run for Gregory Polanco right down the line in left, and the Pirates break it open. It's 8-2.
Didn't know if that slice was going to take it to the left of that foul pole, and it didn't. It was able to stay just fair.
That's a huge 3-run home run for Polanco. Fourth of the year, and the Pirates have broken it wide open.
Yeah, they're trying to work him away, and Polanco was just like, okay, I'll hit it that direction.
Great images on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo, right off the fair pole.
Yep.
Now 19 runs batted in for Polanco. He's done such a great job of taking the ball the other way this year, enabling him to really get some separation here with the Pirates leading 8-2. Back in a moment on the pitching change here from Mike Matheny.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing, and by Levin Furniture, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Big home run for Gregory Polanco. That 3-run shot right down the line. That's put the Pirates on top 8-2. Now Seth Maness aboard, as Bowman could not retire a batter among the 4 he faced. Jed Jerko now in the game at second base on the double switch. Colton Wong is out. Maness with an ERA over 5. Blanco with all smiles today. A big 3-run home run.
Now looking at Manis' numbers this year, 20 base runners in 10 innings.
That's unusual.
So he's off to a rough start.
We were talking between in the break there. You know, I was saying, you know, Manis, who traditionally has been used when the Cardinals have a lead, he's the guy that gets the ground ball, gets you out of an inning, being used down 8-2 and being used after Bowman.
I think they're,
yeah.
You know, we talked about that. The totem pole is always in everybody's bullpen, you know, and through the course of the year, you know, you usually have the closer to set up man. They pretty stay put most of the time, but those other guys can shift different roles, different times, depending on who's hot, and who's not. But Bowman, until today, looking at his stats in his previous 10-11 games, has pitched extremely well.
So Matheny trying to ride the hot hand. It didn't work.
Perhaps. I mean,
But just weird to see for us. You know, we're used to seeing Manis be one of the more reliable guys that they use. Maybe it's a scoreless inning on Friday.
Sinker maybe hasn't been working as well here at the start of the season.
Brian Vogelsong on the left. Mark Melancon, the closer, on the right.
Doesn't look like Melancon's going to see work.
Thought he might a minute ago.
Yeah.
4 quick runs.
Yeah, this is one of those rare occasions where my tips might not line up with exactly what happened.
There's a base hit on the 10th pitch of the at bat. Marte with his second hit today.
And this base hit coming in that down and in corner of the strike zone. It really is good at hitting baseballs in that spot. Yeah, Free's got another little, not a standing ovation, but I mean a pleasant, nice little hand there.
Drove in a run with a single last time.
You can see that protective device very well now that he wears on his left hand. Normally he's got that black glove on and you can't really see it, but with the pink gloves you can really see how it protects the small bones in the back of that hand in case a fastball rides up and in.
That's a spot that's so vulnerable. Ten hits now for the Pirates. Trying for another. Piscotty with some room. It's the first out of the inning.
Gave that a nice ride.
The Cardinals needed 33 pitches just to get the first out in the 7th. Pirates poised if they can hold on to this 6-run cushion to take the series here in St. Louis.
Really be some early dominance over the Cardinals.
Pirates 4-1 against St. Louis this year. And they'll have a chance to avenge the Cubs in Chicago next week. Again, spring in St. Louis. What do they say? May thunder showers bring June tornadoes.
Is that what they say?
Or whatever the old adage is. It's just it's part of the country we get a lot of
in the Midwest.
Severe weather.
Yeah, you're going to get some thunderstorms out
this
here.
time of year. Yeah. Carpenter makes that look easy. Marte on at second now with 2 gone. Carpenter's just a good ball player. I know he's a Cardinal, but he's a good ball player. We talked about him a few times today.
Yeah, he's
credit where credit's due.
You know, that old game sometimes you play like, okay, you're putting together a team. You know, you go by position. Carpenter would be on a lot of teams. A lot of people would pick him to be one of their guys.
When we were kids and there was still an even number of players, they would just not pick another guy so they wouldn't have to pick me. Well, we'll just play 3-on-3 today. Carpenter would be high on that list, though.
Yeah, you're putting together your all-star team in the National League. You go position by position. He's going to be on a lot of those.
2-2 now on Mercer. Seth Maness has, for now, quieted the storm a bit. Gregory Polanco, 3-run home run right down the line and left. And just over the wall, in fact. Fourth home run. What are we, 5 weeks into the season? He's got 19 runs batted in. He's hitting close to 300.
Hey, he'll probably pick that pace up now that he's hitting a little higher in the line. Now he's hitting third.
Yeah.
I mean, he did most of that work when he's hit, what, seventh?
Sixth a lot. Yeah. Marte in scoring position. But Moss get the final out. Pirates strike for 4. 3 of them off that man's bat. And a good time to stretch on Mother's Day. Great music from Jonathan Jackson and E Nation. Great images on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Gregory Polanco's 3-run home run, capping that 4-run outburst. 8-2 Buccos. Jed Jerko in on the double switch.
Lobstein's numbers on the year. He's been very effective in the extra inning ball games. Outstanding in the overtime.
Matt Carpenter singled and walked today. Sean Rodriguez stayed in the game after pinch running for Jaso over at first. Already getting in on the action. Pirates with 10 hits today. Cardinals with 6. Cardinals took the lead early in the ball game. Carpenter scoring on a 2-out RBI double by Brandon Moss. Carpenter draws his second walk. Look at our Allegheny Health Network injury update. Cole Tucker, who had been out since having labrum surgery back in August of last year, returning to the power today. And that's good news. First rounder a couple of years ago. Back in action. Look forward to seeing him be able to complete the rest of the year. Stephen Piscotty with a pair of hits today. Lobstein hasn't worked in a while, trying to get in there for the first time since Monday. Gave the Pirates 3 innings against the Cubs. Not throw very hard and has never thrown very hard, but did not feel the pressure to try to increase his velocity or really trying to throw max effort every time to impress scouts when he was a youth player. That's just going to find right field. Scotty with 3 hits today. Lobstein just a guy who has always had good command and been able to get outs everywhere he's gone.
Crafty left-hander.
And for a young pitcher too. I mean, we think of a crafty lefty maybe as a guy that toward the end of his career or something, just trying to hang on. But no, I mean, Lobstein, even as a teenager, never was the guy that threw the hardest, but was a good pitcher. And I think that he said that that's a good lesson for young kids out there too. Don't just try to light up the radar guns all the time, and you might hurt yourself first of all, but just be yourself, and if you can pitch, you'll make it. Matt Holliday 0 for 3 today. Archimedes Caminero was up
Cardinals
earlier.
Never seem to just make it easy on us. You think 8-2, they just okay, you got us today. But here they come. They're trying to make a run, even down by 6.
Good teams don't go away. We've seen the Pirates when they've trailed. Continue late in games. The almost isn't good enough to win, but you make it difficult. Tax the team for the next day. In this case,
well, it shows character of a team.
Yeah.
Doesn't throw in the towel.
Mike Matheny, ex-catcher, very, very good catcher in his playing days.
thing I always remember about him is actually is when he was hitting. He took a fastball to the face, cut his cheek wide open, bleeding all over the place, and tried to convince him to let him stay in the game.
Didn't hit me.
I mean, he didn't even go down. You know, most guys hit a fastball in their face. You think they would like kind of take a knee? Nothing. Just stood there. Tough guy.
And now a walk has loaded the bases. One out in the inning. This thing's a little restless.
You know, one thing you never want to do it really ever, but when you got the big lead like this and you're coming out of the bullpen, no free passes. I mean, you'd rather see the guys start hitting balls all over the place than giving up the freebies, as that is like a prerequisite to get back in the ball game when you're down by a bunch of runs. Is you got to get a little help. Whether it's a error that the team may kick a few balls, or whether the pitcher gets wild, you start getting some base on balls. That opens the door for you now to get that big hit and have an inning where you can put up a 3 spot. And that's exactly what the Cardinals need right now. They got to have a big inning to just get back in the game. Not even talk about taking a lead or tying the game, just to get back in it. They got to have a big one.
Down and in to Moss, who has driven in a run with a double today. Also struck out twice. And he's hit into 3 double plays. Still kind of a shift on for him. Good pitch from Lobstein. Foul ball.
Phrase right now would be probably wondering why we don't have a big shift on so that he could take control at second. He wants to make that pivot, right?
Well, he's played some second base already this year, briefly. One, two. Tried with the cutter and missed. Yadier Molina would bat next. Ground ball could get Lobstein out of the inning. There's one, and it's late. Carpenter in to score. It's 8-3.
You make that trade every time with a big lead. Same thing there, get it out.
It's the only finite part about this game. You get 27 outs.
Yeah, you get that lead. It's very easy to start. You just make those trades. Okay, got to get the out.
Lobstein is done for the afternoon here. 8-3 Pirates. Wireless delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in high def on more than 400 supported devices. That includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Caminero had been in 14 ball games, as you can see, and been a little wild early this year. He really was able to harness that control last season and had a breakout year. Fine rookie year. Needs to get back to that throwing more strikes.
Molina 0 for 2 today. Lead runner is Piscotty at third. Moss over at first. Moss will take second base.
Pirates got the good bounce off the bricks. I think that might have hit the B. Came right back.
Yeah, right underneath the B and Bush. Now runners in scoring position. Caminero has not pitched since Monday. 99 there.
Pretty much just reared back and threw that one by him. Belt high middle.
Harrison can't get it. Moss is coming in, and the Cardinals make it a 3-run game.
That's what you were trying to avoid, that crooked number going up, staying out of the big inning. That wild pitch ends up really hurting. Just off the tip of the glove. The Cardinals now are back in it, making a game of it.
Neftali Feliz has been warming on and off, and with it now a tight ball game, that's going to be it for Caminero. Third pitcher of the inning. Cardinals have pulled to within 3. Would be tight. Cardinals coming right back and answering with 3 runs. Now 8-5 after that 2-run single by Molina. Now Clint Hurdle turning it over to Neftali Feliz.
Feliz really nice, an excellent addition to that bullpen for situations like this. When you're trying to get the game to Watson, the setup guy, who to get it to Melancon.
Jeremy Hazelbaker homered his last time up. The Pirates scored 4 times in the top half of this inning. The Cardinals have struck for 3. Now 2 strikes, 96 from Feliz. Feliz pitched yesterday through 16 pitches in a scoreless inning. Two. Feliz really quick to the plate. Oh, 2. He struck him out. Feliz comes on and gets his man, and the Pirates take a 3-run lead to the 8th. Have the lead, 8-5. Joe Hogong on deck. He would pinch hit for Feliz. Chris Stewart leads off the inning. Sean Rodriguez due up 3rd. Seth Maness in his 2nd inning of relief. Stewart has ripped a run scoring double that came back in the 5th. This could be trouble. What a play by Diaz.
Oh, very nice. Had some trouble with that glove so far, but did a good job on that one.
I knew he had some time. Well, the rookie has shown brightly here in St. Louis. Now Jung Ho Kang, who hit 2 home runs on the first game of this series, his first game of the season with the Pirates, pinch hitting for Feliz. Feliz struck out the only batter he faced. Two balls and a strike. He really electrified things on Friday night, providing most of the offense and backing Francisco Liriano's very strong start.
Yeah, not too many players have a welcome back like that.
First 2 at bats, he swung on the first pitch.
And on the third at bat.
And waited on that one, and then that one into the third deck. That easy power from Jung Ho Kang.
He had 2 home runs in like what, 7, 8 pitches.
Well, you know, he said before the game on Friday, yeah, it's going to take me some time to get adjusted to major league pitching. I haven't seen very much of it. I needed by the third pitch, he'd already hit the ball out of the ballpark. Maness throwing him a lot of off-speed stuff.
Maness tries to get those ground balls.
Now full on Kang.
Maness
Rodriguez next.
Not a real hard thrower himself. Just
his velocity's down a little bit too.
Change speeds, get that ground ball. Looks like this is supposed to be a changeup.
Blasted into center, and Hazelbaker has room. He adjusted to that changeup. Pitch at bat, but ends in an out on a well hit ball.
You can't ask for more than to center him up like that. Give it a nice ride out the center.
Two away for Rodriguez batting for the first time. Kang looking very good in the field the last couple of days, getting the day off today. That's by design. 2 starts, then a day off. That will continue for the time being. There's no real definite timetable for how long that will go, but he says his leg's not going to be 100% until next year, but it's certainly good enough. Clint Hurdle said that today. There's a base hit for Sean Rodriguez. John Jaso had 3 hits today. Rodriguez comes on in his spot, picks up where he left off. Andrew McCutchen with a pair of singles today, one driving in a run in that 4-run 7th. He preceded that 3-run home run by Polanco. They hit right down the line and just over the wall and left. And he's behind a strike. 8-5. It's been a wild one. The Pirates have hit a pair of home runs.
Talking to his shoes.
Time called by Molina before the pickoff play.
How do you know it was that, Molina?
Hey.
No, just kidding.
Oh, I was going to say it. It was Greg Gibson was pretty demonstrative.
Yeah.
Time called right here. We could hear it all the way up here, and he's pointing right at Molina.
We heard him pretty good there, didn't we?
Left that one out over the plate.
To make the seats, maybe. Yep.
Manus has gotten away with a couple.
Yeah, that last one was, man, throw him another one there. That was right down the pipe.
Tony Watson ready for the bottom of the 8th.
Give him another shot at that. Well, either one of them, but especially that number 2.
A couple of fastballs about 88 miles an hour.
I looked at his average fastball velocity this year. You mentioned that he's been down, and certainly has. His average velocity is 87 on a fastball.
And sometimes, you know, early in the year, pitcher's still building a little arm strength, maybe a tick down, right? And that first month and a half of the season. But this is a little more significant than we've seen. He worked around 90 very consistently last year. Now a ball and 2 strikes on McCutchen.
Well, that, you know, anytime your velocity comes down, that will take away some of that movement. You know, not spinning the fastball as quick. Maybe he doesn't have the bite on that sinker that he has had because he's lost a couple mile an hour off the fastball.
Greg Gibson letting most of Missouri and part of Illinois know that time was called. I like him behind the plate. I like hearing the umpire like that.
I'm with you. Let everybody know what's going on.
It's Sunday afternoon rocks. That's why he was
outside of his back knee
doing some planting. Rodriguez aboard at first with 2 outs. Changed up on him.
Again, the hand comes off the bat very early.
Pirates take an 8-5 lead. Pirates continue this road trip with a stop in Cincinnati. You can see the Buccos take on the Reds tomorrow starting at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason right here on Root Sports. First of 3 in Cincinnati. here trying to win the series against the Cardinals. They got to hold on to an 8-5 lead here on Mother's Day. Hope you're enjoying your holiday. Tony Watson on for the 8th.
Always busy. 15 games now for Tony.
Saw him in the first game of the series. Protected a 4-2 lead in the 8th. Aledmys Diaz 1 for 3. And quickly behind 2 strikes. Randal Grichuk has moved into the on deck circle. He would bat for the pitcher. Got him to chase.
3 pitches inside, then went away outside. He swings at it. Saw him walking away, shaking his head. And I think he wasn't real happy with one of those calls in there. Put him behind in the count. But that was some great pitching. Put it right where he wanted.
Randal Grichuk. Pinch hitting for Manus. He had been scuffling, but awoken with a couple of run scoring singles yesterday. Played at 3. Manus went 2 innings and kind of quieted the storm after Bowman. Polanco retires him. Nice to see Tony Watson start off this inning relatively quickly. He has not had a really easy go of it so far to begin the season.
They started off with a couple perfect pitches to Diaz. His fastballs right in the inside corner. Got him called strikes. Sometimes just the first couple gets you on a nice roll. You know, if you don't get those first couple called strikes or called balls, now you're behind in the count. You risk of walking somebody, and then it can get away from you. Those first couple pitches when you first come to the ball game can really make a big difference on how that inning goes. And being a relief pitcher, you can't make an adjustment and end up throwing. Wow, I went 6 innings. I was a little wild in the first, but then settled down and threw a lot of strikes. With relief pitcher, it doesn't work that way. You got what you got when you first get out there, and that's going to be it. You only have an inning. It's got to be a good one right from the first pitch you throw. In a way, the relief pitcher's job depends on different way you can look at stuff, but is a more difficult job than a starting pitcher.
Yeah, game's on the line, right? You don't have any really room for error.
You mentioned earlier, you said you can bend but don't break early in the ball game. Well, that's not the case with those guys that come in from the bullpen. They got to stand strong right away.
And Watson with his first 1, 2, 3 innings since opening day. 9th coming up. 9:45. The Pirates take the lead to the 9th inning. It has been back and forth. Pirates trying to take the series here. Both teams have led. Both teams have led in each of the last 2 games. Cardinals winning yesterday, and now Jonathan Broxton on here in the 9th.
Off to a decent start as far as giving up hits. Opponent hitting just 163, but still has had to deal with a lot of base runners in his 12 innings because he's walked 9.
Polanco right now the difference maker. Broxton had a rough stretch against the Pirates earlier in his career. He's now righted the ship more recently, since joining the Cardinals pretty much. And Polanco, that 3-run home run, the difference maker in the 7th inning.
His hand comes off the bat. Just been plaguing the hitters today.
You know, those slickly lacquered pink bats. New batting gloves too. It's not a follow through you see very often at the plate.
Couldn't see it very well, but you have that thumb pad on Polanco's top hand.
There's a good look.
Now you can see it on his thumb. That protects the web of your hand from getting bruised and beat on when you're hitting, because that bat, of course, lays right in that web, that top hand. And you get jammed a little bit, it can really hurt. So a lot of hitters will slip that pad over the thumb, and then the bat lays right on top of that. Not too many guys anymore that just go old style with dirt and bare hands up there.
No wristbands or anything, right? I mean, today's a special day. There's a lot more.
I think Cervelli still goes with just bare hand out there. He doesn't use batting gloves most of the time. Occasionally we've seen him do it. But
Yeah, you know, the one sleeve for Polanco. Where's the other sleeve? It's cut off. Guys all have their individual styles that they use. And today is one of the few days where you can really kind of branch out and try some different things with the shoes or all the different pink gear. Now that started back in 2006, 10 years ago. Baseball allowed for that. Used to just be basically, you know, here's a pink wristband. Put it on today. Why not? You know, and it's really proliferated from there. And Broxton strikes out Polanco. Pitch at bat.
yeah, it took him 9 pitches, and the number 9 pitch was a little bit off the plate, but that will be called a strike occasionally, so you can't be surprised by it.
Now Starling Marte hits in each of his last 2 trips. Make it 3 in a row. And this one will be extra bases. Marte will stand up at second with a double.
I keep throwing him down there, and he just keeps whacking at the left for doubles. Another one right at the knees. A little bit, kind of inside half the plate, down in the corner for a double. Look at that. He just doesn't miss down there.
That's a hot zone for him.
Yes, it is.
Not just today, but either guys are missing or scouting report. Someone spilled coffee on him today.
Maybe they don't get the same paper, the same charts we get.
David Freese 1 out of 4 today, a run scoring single. First start in St. Louis since being traded away. 4, among others, are Randal Grichuk. That'll be the second out. Marte with his 3rd straight multi-hit game. Standing at second with 2 away. Mark Melancon getting ready.
Get a base hit here. Lose his save situation.
Josh Harrison's been good at that this year. 2 out with a man on, and he's got another hit.
And there goes the save situation.
Marte going to score, and Harrison sneaking into second on the throw home. Harrison's first hit of the day, 9-5.
Hits this ball out there, and you know, a lot of times you can be a good outfielder without having great physical skills, you know, as far as, you know, the running and all that kind of stuff, and you do that by making good decisions. Now with 2 outs and a guy that Marte, one of the fastest guys in the league, running on the pitch, you dive for a ball and don't catch it. When do you ever have an out at home? But that's where he threw the ball. And so now on the throw, now you got to deal with another guy in scoring position. Sometimes you can be a good defender by just being, you know, make the right decisions out there. I don't want to, you know, point fingers at Holliday, but I mean, just at that moment, it's like, why would he ever throw that ball home?
So now Harrison at second. Josh Harrison now hitting at .400 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. 10 for 25.
He's getting so many opportunities. He's got almost 50 at bats already this year with runners in scoring position.
He's been very clutch. Mercer's walked twice today, once intentionally. And now Ryan Vogelsong. Might see him. With Melancon already loosening, they might just bring him in unless it really gets one-sided. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if Vogelsong has time to get loose now if there's a quick out.
Melancon pitched Wednesday, Friday. So it wouldn't hurt for him to get work, but doesn't need to get in. One on Jordy Mercer. If he could get a hit, all the Pirates would have hits today except for the pinch hitters and the pitcher. Now look, the Cubs have tied it.
Arrieta will not get a loss. Mesmerized, aren't they?
It's getting to that time of the game. Tension wavers. Mercer draws his 3rd walk today.
Nice eye. Like a pretty good slider to be able to lay off.
Well, Pirates not taking anything for granted. They've added a run here in the 9th.
This gives Vogelsong more time to get loose.
Melanson has stopped throwing. Vogelsong's now the one loosening.
I think though that Melanson had been throwing for so long, he'd got to be ready anyway. Plus, he was probably doing his 8th inning thing that he always does with the towel.
Stretching and then the pantomiming.
Yep.
Liriano would bat next.
Well, there's not really a whole lot of the bench except for your backup catcher is empty.
Yeah, Cervelli's the only man there trying to give him a chance to have a day off. I guess Tony Watson wouldn't get a chance to bat, huh?
If you had to choose between Watson and Liriano,
Well,
you'd probably
sure.
go Liriano.
Oh, sure. Well, if he comes up with 2 outs, that probably means that there's a RBI situation. Stewart, an RBI double in the 5th. Two-one. This one might get down. And it does. A base hit. Harrison hustling all the way. And he is in. Mercer on to 3rd. Chris Stewart, a 2-out RBI single. It's 10-5 Buccos.
And we get another pitcher getting a pinch hit. I always get charged up for that for some reason. A little flare that falls in. Jay Hay off with the crack of the bat. Scores pretty easy without a tag. And Liriano now getting the hit. With that short bench, we've seen some pinch hitting. And Neese up there, who got a pinch hit RBI.
The first time Liriano's ever pinch hit.
Well, he's only been a good hitter for about a year now.
Hitting .313. Bucks on the pond for Liriano with Mercer at 3rd. Stewart aboard at 1st. And they'll get the force. Pirates add a pair. And they'll take a 10-5 lead into the bottom of the 9th. Pirates trying to make it a happy Mother's Day. 10-5 here in hopefully the final frame.
Yeah, this one going to be the final frame. I'm going to make that prediction. We can hold on to this 5-run lead.
The Cardinals have made it interesting.
Ryan's been pitching well this year.
Pirates had a 8-2 lead. Cardinals came back with 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Made it a tight one, but the Pirates adding 2 more insurance runs here in the top half. Carpenter, then Piscotty and Holiday here in the 9th against Vogelsong. And it hits chalk and fan interference. Carpenter will stand at second base.
Fair ball. You're supposed to be a knowledgeable fan not to interfere with the ball in play. But that was not the case.
Well, he needs to get an updated shirt. Maybe he hasn't read the rules here. Would you like the ball? No. Would you throw that back in the field, please? Thank you.
Yeah, you're not allowed to keep the ball when you get a fair one.
That's nice that they threw her the ball.
Oh yeah, that gives the ball away, but whoever got it didn't get to keep it. I think he was trying to give it away to a kid anyway, though, so it didn't really make any difference.
Scotty with 3 singles today. Sir, we must not let you watch the final 3 outs of this game. Cardinals will make that hard to come by. 4 hits today for Piscotty.
Down and get that one out. A little low. Dumped it into center field. Carpenter down by 5, just playing it 90 feet at a time, as he should.
Mark Melancon making sure he stays warm in case.
He'll be in the game if the tying run gets the on deck circle.
Saw this in the 7th inning where the Cardinals were down a half dozen. They ended up plating 3 in the frame. But they need 5 to tie here in the 9th. Pirates need 3 outs before that. Pirates aiming to take the series. Cardinals won last night. Pirates won the opener.
Need a ground ball here just to kind of get things back in shape.
Holiday has already grounded into a double play today. 3 times this year. Way out in front. Staying alive, still 1-2. Vogelsong last pitched on Wednesday, delivered a couple of innings. Retired 6 of the 7 men he faced. The lone exception was a home run to Rizzo in that outing. And he strikes out Matt Holliday for out number 1.
Nice K for Ryan. He does not want to give up that run at third base. He didn't necessarily. He would like the ground ball and get the double play. From a team standpoint, that's the best thing that could happen. But Ryan will take that strikeout. Now, here's where
I want the double play.
Yeah, here's where we get the ground ball double play.
Scotty, the trailing runner at first. I'll let him perhaps move into second base anyway.
That's kind of a gamble, though, for him to do that. For him to run when there's just 1 out. With 2 outs, he'd take off for sure. We no doubt. But with 1 out, you're always. I mean, it's not going to happen very often. But what if the hitter hits a line drive and you're off trying to steal down by 5? That's what guys are always leery about in this situation. They know they can steal the base, be no problem. They're not even going to try and stop me. What if the hitter hits a line drive? Most of the time, they'll wait till 2 outs before they'll move on down into second base.
Scotty, a 4-hit day today. Pirates out hitting the Cardinals 14-10. Carpenter with the leadoff double. He's third. Pirates trying to take the series and pack up to Cincinnati. Now 3-1. Well, if Moss gets aboard, Molina to follow, and then it becomes a save situation. Assuming no outs are recorded. No one erased. Melanson ready if needed. And he'll be coming on in.
It is now a save situation.
Tying run on deck.
Tying run on deck. Winning run still in the dugout.
So believe it or not, in a 5-run game, Mark Melanson is coming on to try to earn the save. 3 out of the 4 reach against Vogelsong. And so the 7th Pirates pitcher of the afternoon is coming on here in a 10-5 game. up. He's waiting as the Cards being doubled up by the Pirates, but Ryan Vogelsong allowed 3 of the 4 men to reach. Bases full of Redbirds. That means the tying runs on deck. It's a safe situation for Mark Melancon.
And it's how the scoring rules are that you come in and get the save here.
Well, he's had 9 opportunities, and many of them have either been one-out varieties, or these 4 or 5 run type games. This is already the 5th time he's come in with a 3 or more run lead for a save.
It's kind of like you know, the hitting. It all evens out. He's going to have to come in and pitch some tough ones also to get that save. 1-run lead with the 3, 4, 5 staring at you, with the wind blowing out somewhere. I mean, they all won't be you know, big lead.
Well, he's got to be careful, otherwise it may not be a big lead here. Now, Molina does not have the same power he did earlier in his career, the last couple of years ago before the thumb injury, but still capable, very capable. And Hazelbaker with good power to follow.
Well, Hazelbaker's the one you got to worry about. And Molina.
Who would have thought that, by the way, coming into spring training? Huh?
Molina, what you're worried about as much as anything is just a single, just to keep the line moving. I mean, a home run right now actually will kill the rally. That's an actual kind of a joke that been told. I mean, ever since I first started playing baseball, the easiest way to kill a rally is somebody hit a home run.
Doesn't run well. There's one out.
Look at that.
And there's 2, and the ball game is over. Yadier Molina grounds into a game-ending double play.
Nice job by Freese. He scooped up that ball and stepped on a bag at the same time. Good play by Sean on the other end with his pick.
So Melancon throws 2 pitches to 1 batter, gets 2 outs. He picks up a save. John Jaso with 3 hits and a big home run today. And the Pirates take the series, beating the Cardinals.
They keep rolling on the road.
Pirates improving to 10-7 on the road, and they'll pack up for Cincinnati next, taking a 10-5 victory to the banks of the Ohio. And now back to the banks of the Allegheny with Paul Antique.